All right, let's answer the question that I get asked quite frequently, both in person and on Instagram. How do I afford a Lamborghini at age 18? Hey, hope everyone is doing well today, and in this video I wanted to drop a little bit of information for those of you who are curious on exactly what it is I do, how I kind of got into things, and just the evolution, because this is something where, you know, I get asked this every single day at least 3 to 5 times, you know, just this specific question, like what do you do, or, you know, how do you afford this car, via Instagram. And I also get asked this a couple times a week. You know, I don't drive the car all that much, I don't leave the house all that much, but you know, every once in a while, about every 5th time or so I leave the house in the Lambo, someone asks me what I do or says something about the car. So yesterday I was at Panda Express, someone was waiting at my car, I saw them as I was walking back with my food. They were waiting there, he had DM'd me on Instagram as well, I saw that later, but came up and just asked like what it is that I did. And so I figured I would explain it a little bit. I know I don't talk about exactly everything I do, there's multiple aspects to it and some things I'm working on. So for those of you who might not know me, actually if you don't even know that I have the car, I'll leave the video linked somewhere for you guys to check out the video of me buying it and like doing a whole cool edit and whatnot. Is pretty awesome. That video got like 100,000 views. It's kind of insane. So I want to give you the run through on exactly kind of what led up to it, because this is the 2nd car I've owned. So the only other car I've owned, which an amazing car, I actually like it better than the Lamborghini, is a BMW M4, okay? I still have that car, it's my favorite car, I will never get rid of it. I love that car, I like the Lambo. I will sell the Lambo in a heartbeat if I need to. I will never sell the M4, okay? So that's just my own personal opinion, I love the car. So I got the BMW M4 when I was 17. Okay, so this was a year, actually about 13 months prior to me buying the Lamborghini. So I bought it on November 1st, 2017, and then I had the BMW, it was shipped from Florida. I bought it without having ever seen it, and I had it shipped up to Minnesota, which is where I grew up. That's where I lived at the time with my family. Now, 13 months later, I bought the Lambo, but before we even get to that, let's back it up before the M4. How did I afford that? Because it was a similar business model that just allowed me to scale. And so, the first thing I want to mention is I could have afforded a Lamborghini back when I got the M4. And this is just purely talking money based on what I do. The difference is, when you've been making money for a longer time, things show consistency, they show scalability, right? You're systemizing, you're automating, like there's a structure in place, it's been working, you're more comfortable with it, it's been longer, there's other income streams. That's when I made the decision to get the Lamborghini. I waited, I was gonna get the Lambo about 5 months, yeah, it was gonna be in March 6th of 2018. So 5 months after I bought, literally exactly 5 months after I got delivery of the M4, I was gonna get a Lamborghini for my 18th birthday. So the reason I didn't do that is I just didn't need to jump the gun for it, and I actually started putting my money in other places. So I went and used a good chunk of that money elsewhere, which, you know, paid off. So, or certain things did. But, you know, so for me, what was leading up to even the M4, right? What is it that I do? Okay, so there's businesses and different things, and I'm gonna use air quotes around the word businesses because some things aren't necessarily a business, they're just like a way to make money, like a hustle, if you will. So there was a whole series of things leading up that I don't do anymore that started getting me to make money to get into the business that then let me get the M4 and get the Lambo, okay? So those things included mowing lawns, okay? Bring it back to simples. Mowing lawns was a great one. That funded everything, okay? Now, from a digital perspective, there was growing Instagram influencer pages, okay? That was the first thing that got into the online piece besides stock trading. So it was mowing lawns, stock trading for multiple years, couldn't really figure that. I got the hang of it, but you know, realized it was not for me. It made some money, lost some money. It was about break even over the course of a couple of years. So stock trading into and through the people that I met by doing stock trading. This is why like the networking is key. Through the people I met, it let me get into growing Instagram influencer pages. Now I did the Instagram pages for over a year, like well over a year. I grew, you know, I had about 1 million followers between a couple of my accounts, which was great. I was starting to make, like I remember I had this little whiteboard because I didn't want to spend money because I wasn't really making much yet on a big one. It was like, I don't know, I'd say like 3 feet by 2 feet tall, and I drew like a chart, I like outlined it, you know, like this, and I wrote like, you know, like March 1st, March 2nd, March 3rd, like outlining the whole month, and I'd track how much money I'd make. And I remember like it's sometimes there would be like 4 or 5, 6 days where it's completely blank, and then it's $20, then 3 days blank, and then $55. So yeah, I started tracking, I started being very analytical with what I was doing and where I was spending my money. So that spiraled into actually habits I still build to this day. Like every single time I go somewhere, oh, my phone's not on me. Like if I go, I'm gonna go get a bagel after this video. What happens is when I'm standing in line after I buy the bagel, I go there every day, I already know how much it's gonna be, $7.61. But every single time, I go in my notes on my phone and I write down what I just spent money on. Every single time I do that. Every time, every expense that I spend, not stuff through my company, you know, that's all tracked on like stuff through our accountants and whatnot at the end of the month. That's the people who do our bookkeeping. So, and I look at that myself. I'm a very, you know, analytical person, but I want to know where I'm spending money. So this habit kind of spiraled in and I still use it to this day. Now, it started telling me, you know, exactly how much I was making. Not what I was, you know, making in revenue, what I was making in profit. So I remember it would vary between about $500 a month, and I was about 15 at the time, anywhere from about $500 to $2,000. Now, that beats any regular job as a kid, and keep in mind, I was working like 16 hours a day. Like literally. At this time it was probably about 10, and then it started getting very serious once I got into the business I currently do now. So I did that, I did a couple little other things, like trying to test Facebook ads and like, you know, starting a couple little things with that money. Ended up like constantly losing that money, but I still had like about $1,000 a month coming in. I used that money to travel. Okay, now the reason that I started the business that let me get the Lamborghini, I'm gonna explain what those couple of things are in a second, is because I was traveling and I met people. Okay, so I started traveling on this $1,000 a month budget, right? So my dad's a pilot, I was able to fly for free, which was great. So, you know, I went to San Diego all at once for a month and a half straight. I went to San Diego for my birthday by myself, I knew nobody. I went to Connecticut for 2 weeks to do door-to-door sales with my friend. I'd done door-to-door sales for solar for like a long time, for many months. Did it again there for a couple weeks, went up to New York, went to New Jersey, and then I went to Miami. Miami changed my life. That's why Miami holds a close place in my heart, and I will definitely get a place there one day. I actually almost moved there a couple times. But when I was 16, I went to Miami. And, you know, so I've told this story before. I was there for 4 days, didn't know anyone. I was having whatever, just chilling, checking it out. Then I went to go leave. Keep in mind, I only get on this flight for free. So I only get on if there's an open seat. There was a big snowstorm, no open seats. Again, I have not a lot of money. I'm 16, I can't book a hotel or a car or an Airbnb or anything. So I was stuck at the airport for about 17 hours. Ended up messaging people on Airbnb. This one guy said, come through, you can pay me in cash. Long story short, it was like a junior penthouse suite, 3 bedrooms on the ocean with 3 other entrepreneurs who did, guess what? Growing Instagram pages and e-commerce. So that's where it started tying in. Started like, you know, spending time with them. I stayed there for a month, literally a month with them right after that time. So I was in Miami for a little over a month, and it was a crazy experience getting to see like wealth. Like I had my first experience in the clubs with them. So e-commerce started really like getting serious for me right as I was turning 16. It was a very, very important like milestone for me. So unfortunately, I didn't get the Lamborghini quick. You know, it didn't pick up for about, you know, a year and a half. So about 8 to 10 months of just consistent failure, losing all my money, which is why that barrier to entry into pretty much anything you do is so high. Most people would have completely quit. They would have quit. They would have stopped putting their money in. Like I went broke. I went broke again. I kept trying. I kept learning, spending money, investing money into learning, testing money on ads, losing it all, doing it again. And it wasn't fun. I didn't care because I knew it would work, and I've seen it work, and I already had some experience. So I knew I just was missing something. So that's why I kept searching for it. So, and that I believe is a determining trait of success. So e-commerce is then what had spiraled me into multiple other things. So I did e-commerce for, you know, like 6 to 8 months successfully, and I started making money. I started traveling. You know, I was hitting some good numbers, and I don't share too many numbers, but I was sharing some stuff when I started YouTube. But before I started YouTube, so the e-commerce piece of it, you know, I had my first $10,000 month. You know, then it was floating like 10, 15. I was doing influencers. Switched to Facebook a few months later. I was figuring that out combined with influencers. I had a $20,000 month in profit, and so it was starting to come in. And, you know, I had money locked in payment processors, so I wasn't actually touching any of this, or not any of it. I wasn't touching about half of it. So that was an unfortunate situation. Both Shopify payments and Stripe was holding my money for a while. So that's why, you know, I didn't go jump into a car really quick or anything. So I was doing that. I was traveling a little bit with some of the money and just, you know, putting it back into the business, stacking cash in the bank. And then I started getting people asking me, because I was posting on Instagram, like I'm back down in Miami, like traveling around, nice cars. And I went down to San Diego. Now, it was my first time ever in San Diego, my first time ever in LA. I fly to LA, go to Rodeo Drive, meet these people from a car rental company, which now I've probably spent a bunch of money with them. And, you know, I've referred them so many clients. I mean, right now they owe me a Ferrari for free for like probably 3 weeks, just based on how many referrals. So it's awesome, so I don't have to pay for anything now. But I rented a BMW M4. and I rented a gold BMW M4. It was an Austin yellow, the same one I have right now. And I completely fell in love with the car. It was my first time in LA. I was living a dream. It was like I was in freaking GTA, driving that car through the streets. So I went down to San Diego to this event, and that's where I filmed one of my first YouTube videos. You know, I was just showing that whole trip because I thought it was sweet, and people kept asking me to like show what I do. And so I did that, and then, you know, that video, I just showed the trip, and people were like, who the hell are you? What do you do? So I made a video talking about like what I do at 17 to make money. Like, you can go back on the channel, it's still there. I think it's filmed with my iPhone or something. And then I did like, you know, like a video more about like e-commerce right after that, because people kept asking questions, and that spiraled me into YouTube. So I started posting about it. Then I realized, you know, I can grow an audience in this. I started, you know, getting more aware because I'm a very aware person. I looked at the space, and nobody was really that good on camera. There wasn't like very many dominant people in this space. So I'm like, you know what? I've been getting pretty good at this. I've been getting good results for like, you know, I mean, at the time when I was first starting YouTube, I've been doing it for like 6 to 8 months very successfully. And so started doing that, just posting, talking about my stuff for like another 3 to 6 months. Then we opened up a training program about 6 months after the channel launched. So some people like launch a training business like without even doing the business, or like right as they're starting YouTube. Like I had like 20,000 subscribers by the time we did that. So I was just posting content, having fun, ended up doing that. So the two businesses now in there are the training business and e-commerce. E-commerce, there's multiple stores. So stores come and go, products come and go. You know, I wasn't really working on too many brands at the time. It was just drop shipping. A store would last for 3-4 months. I'd be aware enough to know that. So I'd build another, I'd find hot products, and it would fluctuate a little bit, but it's fairly consistent. I was pretty decent at it. So started doing that, posting to YouTube. Training business started doing okay. It was just like a consistent little thing. You know, it grew. I started learning more about that business, learning more about e-commerce. So those have been two of the primary things. Now, the skills that I started really mastering, I would say starting mastering, I'm still not even the best, but you know, doing stuff like Facebook ads for e-commerce, now I had that skill. And so what started happening is, you started making money, I started getting attention online, I started traveling more, I started meeting a lot of people, and that started pushing more business opportunities my way. Clients, people who are famous, people who have companies that need marketing and they have money. So I started like, you know, testing little things, and I met like my first billionaire through this stuff. And it was crazy, and you know, like the amount of people I've met has been insane, but started doing some stuff where I was running Facebook ads for people. So that spiraled the whole agency piece. And I think that was even before Ty Lopez dropped his agency program, which is hilarious. You know, I was just doing some basic Facebook ads and growing Instagram pages for people's personal brands. So there was that end of things, and people would pay me like $2 a month to manage their Facebook and Instagram content and help them grow. So, you know, I started getting monthly residual, which was different from e-commerce and the training business. So the agency's been like this. It's been a little random. I do it. Sometimes I don't care. Then I built it. You know, I had 1 month back last year that just built a 7-figure business in 3 weeks. So like I just went and closed a couple clients because I wanted to. And you know, it was an interesting structure where, you know, I've done that in multiple industries. I've tried a few things, and you know, now it's becoming a more long-term structure. It's been more automated, but I will be focusing on that. And I know some people have wanted me to talk about that on the channel. But you know, the main things have been the e-commerce, the training business, and the agency. So the agency itself poops on the training business's numbers most months if I'm focusing. The agency's pretty consistent. It's kind of an interesting structure. So the e-commerce has been a little bit like this because, you know, things change. Now we're working on brands, so it is fairly consistent. My income is fairly consistent. It's not like 70% fluctuation like all these people, because I'm all about consistency. I work all day, every day. I'm micromanaging this stuff. So it's been those 3 primary companies. You know, it's been e-commerce, which is selling products online. You know, there's actually a little key thing on here that a valet stole or something. You see a little gold chain hanging off? That's supposed to have like a little Lamborghini thing on it. But there's little knickknacks like that we sell online. So I don't have boxes of stuff behind me. Like, I'm not touching any of these products. So e-commerce, that's one of the business models. The training business, teaching people what we do from a marketing and e-commerce perspective. And there's an agency that's actually a much broader perspective. I have not talked about that on the channel. That'll be a separate video. But essentially where I have clients where I'm doing a service for them. That can be marketing, that can be, you know, website help, that can be SEO, it can be Google ads. It's a whole different variety of things. So those are the 3 main businesses that helped put me in a Lamborghini. Now, you know what's funny? I just talked so passionately, without noticing now that I'm thinking about it, about everything in this video. About the story about me going to LA, being on Rodeo Drive for the first time, picking up the car, going down, like building the business, getting clients, learning this and that, meeting these people. That is what was sick. Don't get me wrong, the Lamborghini's fun. That is more valuable. And so that's something I didn't realize. Yeah, I kind of noticed it, and that's why I didn't jump into the car right away. I was like, it's whatever, you know, if I want to drive a car, I can go rent it, or, you know, drive a friend's. You know, thankfully I met people who have them. So it was, you know, kind of whatever. And then when I got the car, you know, I knew that. I was like, yeah, this is super fun. It's an amazing car, but it's just a car. It's just a car. You know, I like it. I love it. It's a great hobby of mine. I thoroughly enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. That's a great, you know, side thing of like, it's a, what do you call it? That's one of the, I don't even know, what do you call it? Like a attribution to success now. I don't even know. It's one of those things, it's a byproduct. Okay, so it comes because you do something else. And now don't get me wrong. The car was a great motivating factor when I was starting. Cars, success, like the life. And then it starts to spiral once you start building something big. It changes, it flips. And that is where things get fun. You enjoy the journey. You enjoy what you're doing on a daily basis. That's why I work basically all day. I love doing what I'm doing. I love starting new projects and being able to work on stuff and being in control of it. You know, like this video, what is 16 minutes so far? Well, it's whatever. If I want to talk for another 10, I can, and then I can go get a bagel. I don't have to go report to a boss, you know? So that's my situation. That's how I was able to afford the car. And just to tie this up, I don't know if you're watching this, but the person who came up to me, I didn't catch your name, sorry. The person at Panda Express who was like, dude, how are you so successful? How'd you get this car? Clearly you're successful. And like asked the price of the car went on. I was like, you know, I went with it. I helped him, gave him some advice, whatever, told him what I do. And the thing is, the car is not success. Please don't like associate those things. Yes, it's much harder to get. You can't like fake BS and get into a Lamborghini. It's not going to be that easy. A BMW, a Mercedes, like people can do that, like a $20,000 car, you know. But like the car is a representation of building something real and building something meaningful that has something behind it, longer term, real structure, you know. So that's something for me that I'm much more proud of. The car is a great, fun little thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if I get rid of that shortly. It actually hurts my back a lot. It's not very comfortable, but it's definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, that's just a situation. That's how I got the car at 18 years old. I'm actually turning 19, depending on when you watch this. I don't know when this video is being posted. I'm a couple ahead, but on March 6th. So I'm gonna actually head out to LA tomorrow from when I film this. Got a beautiful house out there. Absolutely blessed to do it for a couple days. Having a bunch of friends come over. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. So 19th birthday celebration, which is awesome. It's cool. I can say about the Lamborghini at 18. And you know, that's not why I did it, but the deal popped up, made logical sense, and I took it. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been an amazing journey. I'm beyond blessed. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about those things I talked about, you know, e-commerce, maybe the training business a little bit, or the agency aspect, I've talked primarily like 80% of this channel is e-commerce based, you know, 10% fun and then 10% other random stuff like, you know, things of like how to, you know, switch out from becoming an introvert so that you can be more of an extrovert, you know, stuff like that. And then also a little bit of the agency stuff, which I know people keep wanting to see more of. So just let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. I'm sure this is a little bit of a like bigger picture video. So if you have any questions on what I do, I would love to answer that in the comments section down below. Maybe make some more videos on it, but feel free to go back on the channel. You guys can hit right here. If I remember to link it, there'll be a box with a sweet looking Lamborghini video. It was a really cool video. You can go over there and let me know in the comments on that what you think of it. But it's a fun car. It's absolutely amazing. I'm beyond blessed. I love what I do. I'm really excited about like just what I'm able to create. So having a lot of fun with it. I wish you guys nothing but success and prosperity here in 2019 and beyond. So let me know if there's anything else I can do to better help you. I'd greatly appreciate it if you left a like on the video. That's all I ask. And with that being said, I'll be seeing you tomorrow in the next video. Peace. Oh, and real quick, I figured you guys would appreciate a quick cold start. Let's go get that bagel.